Hey everybody, welcome back to Smoking with the Smiths, and on today's episode, we're going to have a picnic. But not necessarily the picnic you might be thinking about in your head because it's the middle of February and it's only 40 degrees outside. We are going to have a pork picnic. So the pork picnic comes from the front leg of the pig. It's actually the lower section of the front leg. Once again, that's the pork picnic. Then you've got the pork butt, which comes right next to here. That's the upper part of the arm, which we don't have here today, but the whole entire thing makes up the entire pork shoulder. So just in case you have one of these cuts and you want to know the difference, it's just the different parts of the pork shoulder. Not a huge difference as far as flavor or any of that goes, but we're going to use the picnic today for some pulled pork on the Pit Boss Smoker. So before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. If you like this recipe and want to see more of our recipes, you can find them on our website, smokingwiththesmiths.com, which is linked in the description below. Also check out our Instagram page to see some more recipes and some stuff that we're doing that we're not filming. Okay, so looking up close here at this pork picnic cut that we have, you can see it's already been trimmed up pretty well, so we're not going to do any kind of trimming or anything. An interesting piece with this picnic is that it comes with the skin still on. So if we flip this over, you can see that the skin of the pig is still on here, and we're going to leave that on while it cooks, and we're not going to have to worry about seasoning that or anything like that. So we're only really focused on the top part of this pork picnic. So the first thing we're going to do is put a binder down on this pork shoulder. I'm going to use yellow mustard. I've seen people use Dijon mustard. I've seen people not use a binder at all, but we really want to be able to have our dry rub stick to our pork, so we're going to rub some yellow mustard all over here. And if you don't like mustard, that's really no big deal because you're not going to really taste it when it's done. You're going to have enough dry rub on that you're not going to taste any of this mustard really. Now we're going to add our dry rub to this pork picnic, and today we're using Rib Rack sugar-free barbecue rub. And we've got original, and we've also got spicy. So we're going to put a little bit of each on there. Once again, make sure to be liberal with your dry rub usage. You want to get a nice crust, or a bark as they call it, on your shoulder. That's what a lot of people look for. It adds a lot of taste to your meat. A little spicy on there. Okay, so we got our dry rub on, and it's looking good and looking ready to go out onto the smoker. I did want to mention one other thing as well. I've seen people too that put their dry rub on overnight. I didn't want to do that because I'm a little bit nervous that it would dry out a little too much. Obviously there's salt and all that in your rubs, so applying it to your meat I feel like would draw out some moisture. And we want to try to keep this thing as moist as possible during the cooking process, which you'll see also later. We're going to have a spritz bottle with maybe some apple cider vinegar and some other things in it to keep spraying our pork, keeping it moist throughout the cooking process. So I put the rub on right before I'm about ready to put it on the smoker. So with that, let's get our meter in here and take it out to the smoker. Alright, so we've got the smoker rolling at 275 degrees. We're working with a mix of apple and cherry pellets. Something new I decided to try, mixing my pellets together, so we'll see how that goes. And once again, well, I didn't mention this earlier, we have a 10-pound pork picnic cut here that we're going to get on. I'm expecting it to take quite a while, but for now we're going to cook it for 3 hours, and then we're going to come out here, check it, probably give it a spritz, and then spritz it every hour after that until we're done. What we're looking for right now is an internal temperature of 170 degrees. Once we reach that point, we're going to take it off, we're going to wrap it in aluminum foil, and then put it back on. So we're going to get this on the smoker, looking for an internal temp of 170. So currently we're at about 125 degrees internal temperature, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. Once again, we're looking for 170 for before so it's been 4 hours. We've been out here one time to spritz our pork shoulder already. And what we have here is just equal parts cherry coke, apple cider vinegar, and apple juice. And we're just going to give it another spritz now. We're just past the 7-hour mark on our cook, and we finally reached an internal temperature of 170 degrees. So it's time to wrap this shoulder up in aluminum foil. So we're going to wrap it real tight, get it back on the smoker, and we're going to cook it to an internal temperature of 203 degrees. The fumes on your sweater smell is so lovely, and I will never sell my soul, but you could buy the lease. And don't believe in make believe, just make your ends meet. Say a weekend and the weekend, never stress a thing. And we gon' go another day when we don't disagree. And when the sun's shining, regardless if you... Okay, our shoulder is back in the smoker. Once again, time does not matter here. We're just making sure we get it to an internal temperature of 203 degrees. We want to give it a chance for the fat and the collagen and all that stuff in that shoulder to break down so that our pork is nice and moist and tender, and we're able to pull those bones right out, and it'll shred real easily for pulled pork. Alright guys, it took us 9.5 hours for our 10-pound pork shoulder to finally reach the internal temperature that we needed it to get to. We pulled it, we left it rest for about a half an hour, and it looks like it's going to be good to go. So let's open it up and see what we have here. Alright, it's looking nice and golden brown. We have a nice bark on the outside here. Let's see if we can pull these bones. They're barely even in there. They're just going to pull right out of there, right like that. No meat left on them. I need you more every day. Keep a foot on the brake in case I lose all control. Yeah, so baby, don't lose control. Alright guys, there you have it. We took the bones out here. We're going to work on shredding this up, and we're going to eat it. So once again guys, pork shoulder on the Pit Boss. I guess I'll give it a try here. I got a nice piece with a lot of bark on the outside there, so that's really good. Wow, that's really good. So, like I said, we're gonna, nice and moist, great flavor on that bark. We're just gonna, you can see here some of the nice depth we got there with our smoke. That nice pink color there. Here's another good example right there. So, really nice, nice looking pork here. Like I said, we're gonna work on shredding this up and eating it. So once again, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions about this cook, leave them in the comments below. We'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. And until next time, we'll see you then.